Pledge of Allegiance, and good morning, everyone. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, and I will call the meeting of March 19th to order for our delegation. I also would like to introduce Michelle Clancy. She is going to be our minute taker. The commissioners also are using her for having her do the minutes for the commissioners' meetings. And so today what I'd like to do is to be sure that as we make motions and we talk about what's going on, to state your name, so that will be helpful to Michelle in knowing what's going on. And what I'll do is have Representative Schmidt, we'll go around the table and introduce, and then when other members come, I will introduce them. Representative Schmidt.
Hi, Steve Schmidt from Wolf.
Harry Merrow. Yep. Representative Norman Treganza in the middle of the table.
You know, Chandler.
Joe Fleck, right here.
Okay, I'm Betsy Patton from Moulton Borough.
That's what I would.
Frank McCarthy, Conway. Dave Babson, Ossipee.
Okay, and there is another notebook, there's a notebook there, but, and I don't know whose that belongs to. Who belongs to that notebook? That black one? Oh, David Knox, he is here.
He's
Okay.
here.
All right. So, when you see someone that comes in and sits beside that black, that's Representative David Knox from, Wolfboro. Yes, it should be in front of you. I put it, look at that. What did I do with that? Yeah, if not here. Never mind. Okay, is there any public input? Would anybody like to say something, Susan? And then our, yeah, thank you.
I'm Susan Wiley, and I'm from Sandwich, and I would like to address you concerning Department of Corrections and recidivism. And I have some numbers that I will pass out to you. These numbers came from Superintendent Johnson. He comes to the Carroll County Commissioners meetings, weekly meetings, and he gives reports about the folks that are in, how many people are in the correctional facility, and a little bit about their recidivism rate. So I attended the meeting on the 4th day of January, and he reported at that time the 9 persons who had been admitted that week. And again, I'll give this to you in writing because it's pretty tough to swallow. The first person had offended 6 times in 2 years. Second person, 6 times in 8 years. Third person, 4 times in 14 years. Fourth, 8 times in 6 years. Next, 2 times in 1 year. Next, 11 times in 5 years. Next, 2 times in 1 year. Next, 4 times in 11 years, and lastly, 16 times in 8 years. I asked him if he could give to us information about the number of persons who had reoffended who were between the ages of 17 and 25. And he looked into that in terms of how many of those folks had been in the facility, more than had been booked in this facility more than one time, not considering other facilities, but just in the Carroll County Corrections Facility. And how many of them claimed a mental health condition, and how many were treated for mental health, and how many were committed by an offense related to substance abuse. The total repeat offenders, there were 342 people who went through corrections in 2011. The total repeat offenders between the ages of 17 and 25 were 99. 29% of those folks who had been there once came back at least one more time. The repeat offenders who claim mental health disorders were 26. Again, this is between the ages of 17 and 25. Who took mental health medication, there were 13. The number of inmates who claimed substance abuse problems was 9. The number of repeat offenders booked under the influence of a substance was 16. With every crime, there's a cost of providing upkeep for the inmates. Here, from this pocket, from Carroll County, from this pocket for the state, and from this pocket for federal government, we're paying an incredible amount of money for these people. There's the cost and the time of the local police departments. We heard all about that this past week in our town meetings. The court, the probation, the parole systems. Add to that the cost to the victims, the cost to the families of the inmates, and those families that suddenly become, at best, one-income families. The mission statement of our departments of corrections in Concord and in Carroll County talk about they will promote successful re-entry into society, and they will promote and foster personal growth. It is troubling to me to see this delegation and past delegations not able to put the money into programs and services that will help with rehabilitation. It appears, and again, the information is not on the net. We have a wonderful new website. We don't have any minutes from delegation meetings there, and we have only one set of minutes that address these budget issues. But from what I know, it appears the total amount of money we're putting into inmate programs is $20,540. We contract with Northern Human Services for 2 sessions a month that costs us $800. We contract for 4 anger management courses costing us $5,000 over the year. And it appears to me that we contract $5,840 for licenses for GED, online education, and for 12 GED tests. I think that is just disgraceful. There's evidence-based research that shows that education, training, and mental health work to diminish recidivism. We have low-risk inmates who could be released to learn job and life skills to be successful on the outside. The farm, there's garden work, there's farm work, there's forestry work, there's buildings and grounds work. Off the campus, there are public works jobs in our communities. There's cemetery work, there's parks work, there's cleaning ditches, cutting brush, litter, highway department work, parks maintenance. These people don't only need to have some job skills and learn how to make a living, but they also need to learn how to work with others and how to work in a system where they are able to provide for their families. They need supervision, and we don't have the personnel to supervise them when they're out on work release, and that is sad. I ask you to save us some money and attempt to reduce the high cost of recidivism, to allow our inmates the rehabilitation they need, to expand mental health and education services and get our nonviolent and low-risk inmates working as hard as the taxpayers do who have to maintain their upkeep in a facility. Fixing the prison problem would solve many of our other problems. In the past 30 years, the prison population in this country has increased 35%. We imprison more people than any other country in the world. That is disgraceful. And here in Carroll County, we know those people that are in that facility. They're our friends, they're our neighbors. Many of them are non-violent, low-risk criminals. Many of them have difficulty getting a job once they get out. Number one, because there's a box on an application that says Do you have a criminal, have you been arrested? Do you have a criminal record? That's a strike against them. We don't have the child care subsidy that we one time have. These people are trying to pay $600 and $700 a month for rent. They're having a difficult time getting a job. If they're fortunate enough to be able to buy a house, they're having to pay an incredibly high property tax bill. We can find solutions to this problem, and I ask you to stop thinking the bottom line is dollars and cents. The bottom line is people working in Carroll County, and you were all elected to provide jobs, and let's see it happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. State your name for the record,
For the
okay?
record, my name is Ed Comeau. Comeau spelled C-O-M-E-A-U. I'm from Brookfield, and this question is from Steve Brown of Wakefield. Has the delegation contacted Municipal Resources Incorporated to perform a performance audit of the county? If not, why not? Commissioners said it doesn't fall under their purview and that it is the delegation's responsibility. Mr. Brown followed up with Representative Patton, who told him that she was going to contact Municipal Resources. Being that we are in the budget process, it is the perfect time to budget funds to perform this audit. When are the taxpayers going to get the contingency money back from the new nursing home? The new nursing home opened September 2011. The budget runs January 1st to December 31st. Shouldn't the taxpayers have received the contingency money back in December of 2011? On March 14th, 2012, commissioners expended $1,880 on power strips out of the contingency money. At the same meeting, I asked the commissioners if they had the authority to expend $2.3 million contingency funds. Sorensen affirmative, Solomon, quote, "It's our job to spend the contingency money." In the interim, Mr. Brown would like to know, how can the delegation lock away the contingency money so the commissioners don't spend it? Mr. Brown would like his money back. Thank you.
Okay, could you give those questions
Sure.
to us so that we at least have them, so we can look at them and deal with them as necessary? Okay, is there any further public input? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much for being here today, and I'd like to give you a rundown of what I would like to be able to accomplish today. We do have the Commissioner's budget in front of us. We also have an updated expenditure and revenue budget that is part based on what the subcommittees have done and what the commissioners come up with, to be sure, so that if everyone is comfortable, we will be looking at the updated figures, and they are in the packets that David, I don't think, I'm sorry. Frank, would you give that to Representative Knox, please? And Michelle, Representative Knox is from Northborough. And David, this is Michelle Clancy, who will be our new, and Representative Mark McConkey, would you pass that down, please? Mark is from Ossipee, and Michelle Clancy. Freedom, I'm sorry.
Freedom ring, Madam Chair.
Let Freedom ring, yes. So for everyone, if you look at it, for the updated 2012 is what we'll be working on. Everyone did get the commissioner's budget is what was proposed, the updated 2012, and then it is blank where we will be going as a delegation. You do see those zeros, but that doesn't mean that we're zeroing everybody out, at least not at this moment, because we haven't voted on that. So, and what I will be doing is have Commissioner Sorensen give us a very quick overview of perhaps the changes that happened and that you are doing and what you feel the budget's done, and then we will go through the expenditures, then we will go through the revenues. I would like very much to be able to get through the full budget today because there are issues that we would like to talk about, maybe either after lunch or probably next Monday that I don't want to get into today because I think it's important that we get our work done and come out today with a budget. Representative Umberger is down in Concord. Representative Pettingill had another meeting. I'm not sure where Representative Algren is, but he probably will be here because I didn't hear that he wasn't. And Representative Scalia we will call later. He is between covering for everybody that is away. So Commissioner Sorensen, can you give us a quick overview of what you think the highlights of the budget are, and then we will go through department by department.
Madam
Thank you.
Chairman, if I may, before I do that, could we put on the agenda the Hales location budget, so we can take action on that? I believe there are some people here from Hales location that may want to speak to it, may not want to. The second item would be the union contract at the nursing home. We have a representative here from their union, and if we can at least discuss the union contract, that would be well done.
Okay, if you have the Hales location budget, have you passed that out to us yet?
I believe you must
Is it
have
in
it
our
up there.
packet? No,
Not in
isn't,
our packet.
it's not in our packet.
Is it in the folders in front of you? No?
No, it didn't come out in our packet, so I don't,
If it's one page, huh?
yeah.
You got any extras?
So what we will need is copies of those so that we can do the Hales location.
Okay.
I don't know, I didn't see them in the folders, Kathy.
Should be just one sheet.
It's a one sheet. I don't have it in mine.
Okay, we'll get copies for you, for
Okay,
everybody.
so that we can do that, so that the Hales location doesn't have to, if they want, you can stay through the whole session, but if you want to just know what your thing is, that would be good. Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Okay,
Thank you.
do you want to?
Why don't you give us an overview, and when you're through with
Okay.
that, we will do 1 and 2 and then continue.
Okay, I believe back in December, when we submitted the budget to Concord, it was a high budget. It was like a 17% increase to be raised by taxes. Right now, because of the revenue exceeding what we had estimated, we're able to put 1.4 million rather than the 500,000 to reduce taxes. Our budgets are also down, so to be raised by taxes is 3%. 3% to be raised by taxes. That amount of money is equal to what you raised or you approved in 2009, 2010, of about $13 million. Now, we had some extraordinary expenses. As you all know, the DEAS budget was up between $700,000 and $800,000 increase. We had unemployment expenses that went up considerably, retirement, Social Security. Those are all items that were beyond our control, but they were extraordinarily high this year. Also, our electric and our heat expenses are up. And I believe the question was asked regarding the electric bill. I went back and I found a letter from EGA that said it was like $250 a square foot for the new nursing home, and it would be within, I'd have to go back and look, but we were budgeting like $165,000 for heat, just for the new nursing home. That is within the range that they gave me in the letter. Yes,
You just said heat, did you mean electricity?
I mean electricity. Electricity, sorry. Okay. Something that is not in our budget, the attorney and the sheriff's department would like you to reconsider the impound yard. I know that was voted down last year. We'd like to request $10,000 in that item, should you agree to move forward on the impound yard. I will say it's all been surveyed. And that's, as far as that is concerned, it's all ready to go. The prosecutor, which was raised by the sheriff's department, he wanted to put $20,000 into the county attorney's budget for prosecuting any items that came up in the sheriff's department. That would be a part-time position, and it would be earmarked for the sheriff should something come up that prosecution needs to be handled by the sheriff's department. It would have a priority in the county attorney's budget.
Yeah, excuse me, Commissioner, that is one that came in as a late request. The subcommittee has not heard of this one, so that we will have a discussion when we get to the sheriff's
Okay.
or to the attorney. So, Mark, would you do that, seeing as you are running that in absence of Representative Umgarden?
Another item that Representative McConkey can speak about is the transit budget. That is not presently in the budget that's before you. I believe the subcommittee recommended $5,000. The request was in for $15,000. And the other big item that is not in your budget is we have no union contract for the jail. We are going to arbitration or mediation, whatever you want to call it. And so that won't be done probably for, it's estimated, maybe 3 months from now. I don't know, we haven't gone to arbitration in the past, but that's where that contract stands. We have approved, both the union and the commissioners, the union contract for the nursing home. And it's in the updated version of your budget, which is still within that 3% to be raised by taxes. I guess unless other commissioners have any comments.
There's only one other issue. I know that we have been wanting to know if there has been any leftover from the new nursing home, whether there is any surplus, and I know that we, I don't know if you have a number on that yet.
I can say, like I told you before, I promised you $2 million. Today I can now promise you $3 million that's left over. We don't receive, as commissioners and the building committee, we don't receive any credit for saving dollars. Well, let me say that we built that new nursing home at the right time. We were able to get 3% interest on the 23.5. Subcontractors came in under bid, and so we were able to save money. And I can say right now we'll have $3 million left over. With that said, we put $1,100,000 and some thousand, it's in your budget, towards the principal of the new nursing home. That would have to pass by 2/3 vote because it's money that's left over. I hope that you would approve that. That would go towards reducing the principal cost this year, which is $1,100,000 and some thousand. That's what we can put in, and hopefully you'll approve that. You've also said that, and I don't want to get into the old nursing home, but $1 million could be, up to $1 million could be spent there.
That's all you're going to say about
That's
the old
okay.
nursing home? We'll go
All
no
right.
further with
Sorry.
that. Thank you. We will discuss it, but not today.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Representative
may I
McConkey.
ask you a question on the Hills location?
Oh, yes, just be sure, Representative, Commissioner, do you have anything else?
No, other than I'd like to go to the Hales budget and the
Okay.
union
Yeah,
contract.
I would like to be able to do that. Representative Merrow and then Representative McCarthy.
Thank you. My question on the Hills budget, is we handle pretty much most of that ourselves, I guess. So but you've got an expense in there for $16,000 for business administration. What does that cover?
That covers the clerk, that handles the taxes, reevaluation, those kinds of items.
So that's the clerk's salary?
That's a clerk's job, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Representative McCarthy and then McConkey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, Commissioner, you weren't talking as loud this morning as you normally do.
I'm sorry.
Some of it I missed. Can you give me the figure again on how much money is going to be put in to lower the amount to be...
1.4 million.
1.4?
Million. We had put in our budget back in December, 500,000. At that time, we didn't realize how much revenue we would have coming in. We had more revenue than we expected to have. That's why we can put in that amount of money. That's money that's left over from last year's budget.
And Representative McCarthy, if you look at your revenue budget sheet on page 3 of the revised budget, that's where that 1.4 million shows.
Okay.
Okay, go further.
A follow-up? Also, you said 3 million left over from the building of the new nursing home.
Correct.
How much of that is still left over?
How much is, that's what's left over, 3
That's
million.
what's left over right now.
Right now.
Does that count the 375,000 that went to
Yes, it
Bonnet
does.
Page and Stone?
Yep.
That's already been accounted for?
Yep.
And even after that, there's still 3 million left over?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, Representative McConkey and then Representative Bampson, do you have a question too or no?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. For the Commissioner, I'm sorry. I missed the whole conversation when you were running down your checklist on electricity. Could you repeat that again for me? The nursing home.
Letter from EGA. Let me read the last paragraph. It says there have been no electrical comparisons analysis done for the new building. The focus on heating was to allow us to make an informed decision on the boiler systems and building envelope. Electrical costs can be estimated on a square foot basis. In comparison to other nursing homes, we estimate the annual electrical costs to be between $2 and $2.50 a square foot, which amounts to $171,000 to $214,000 for electrical expenses. This assumes a rate of 13 cents per kilowatt hour.
Would it be possible to get a copy of the whole correspondence?
Yep.
Thank you.
What is the date on that?
March 4th, a year ago.
Okay,
You got copies?
okay, wait a minute, I think,
If I could just follow up, and so, what is your experience, is that coming, are you running in that range now that you've opened the building for a couple
Right.
months?
Yep.
That
And I
is the
think in the
range that
budget,
you're
it's,
running
I think in the budget's 186,000? What did I say, 214?
From 171 to 214, I believe, Commissioner?
171 to 214, if we're running 186 in this year's budget.
and what I would
We're
like
in
to
the
be
range.
able to do is to have that, and when we come to the nursing home, and we are probably talking about the electricity and whatnot under that item in the account, I would like to be able to have the discussion then, okay? All right, thank you, Representative Babson.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I have two questions.
Yes,
The first one is, are you allowed, Commissioner Sorensen, at this point, to tell us what the holdup is with the jail contract? Union contract?
I don't believe I can speak to that.
no.
You can't tell us what their request is?
Obviously,
versus-
it's more money than what we were trying to negotiate
Right.
with.
Okay, the second question is, on the Harts location and coming here,
Hales?
Hales location, coming here often, it really, it upsets me that, and it's got nothing to do with my district, but that the Conway School District seems to be charging the Hales location students, this 86,000, I believe, is only for for 4 students, isn't that correct? Don't they charge
charge-
Hales location students $20,000 apiece, and the average for the school system is 11 or 12?
Right.
High school is 32,000.
What we will do is,
Yeah.
I would like to be able to have the question, we will open it up to the public on the Hales location, because you have questions, but let's not have a back and forth, because we'll never be able to record it.
Madam Chairman, there's a difference between a high school and elementary